Yeah, here's a tune that Tabitha wrote, and we dedicated it after our little rescue puppy. His name's Finn, so this one's called Finn's Rescue.
Foreign Landers here. I love your guys' sound and everything that y'all do. I wanted to ask you, when y'all formed the Foreign Landers, well, first, which came first, marriage or the Foreign Landers?
Well, actually, it's funny. David and I, before we got married, we played a set called Tabitha Agnew, which is my maiden name, and the Foreign Landers. And then after we got married, it just became the Foreign Landers. So I guess both in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of, once we got married, we thought, hey, we love making music together. Why won't we just do this, And
Yeah.
so we kind of started the band really in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. And
Yeah.
so it's the best time to start a band, if you ask me. I don't know.
There's nothing else to do but start a band.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you all formed the band. What was kind of the conversation like when it came to forming y'all's sound? Because it's such a blend of bluegrass and folk and all these other sounds. David, you played in more of a traditional bluegrass group. You have the Celtic background. You have so many influences just from being across the seas. Was there a conversation that this was kind of the sound, the vibe you wanted to go for, or was it just kind of something that came about?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of both, I guess. When we first started playing music as a duo, we were in Northern Ireland during lockdown, and we just put up like some blankets and pillows on the walls, and we had a couple of cheap mics, and we actually recorded that version of Put All Your Troubles Away that we started off with. And so it really was banjo and mandolin and trying to figure out songs that we liked and drawing from different styles. Like you said, like I played Celtic music growing up, and Tabitha played bluegrass music growing up, which is kind of ironic. So I felt really comfortable when we first started playing together, and things just fell into place pretty naturally. And I think, I guess the band is really centered around the songs that we write, and Tabitha is the main songwriter for sure. She could probably talk more about that, but just trying to write songs that communicate truth and beauty, and songs that draw on influences from all the bands that we love in those different styles as well.
Yeah, you guys are such great storytellers, and I've especially seen that both in your last album, which was more of a kind of a concept record to it, and even your recent singles. Tabitha, yeah, as a songwriter, I guess, what is your approach? I think, David, when we chatted, it was something like you're kind of like the starter and you're kind of like maybe a bit more of the finisher of songs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, what is it about songwriting that you really like?
Yeah, I just love melody. I think that's like for me the biggest starting point. Anything that I do, I try to like always have some sort of like a shape of a melody in my mind, and so that's what I usually start with. Is not really lyrics as much. I almost hear things come from melodies, if that makes sense. And so, those moments will become like out on a walk or like just doing something like the dishes or anything like that, just the mundane things. But I feel like that's kind of where I kind of draw a lot from. But yeah, like as far as songwriting goes, I love to start things, but I cannot sometimes finish them. Just when you're just really, even a project like a host project, David's like that. He'll just come in and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna, this is what we should shape it like, Whereas I'm like, okay, here's all the creative like energy at the start. So yeah, honestly, like we work together, and I'm really thankful for that, in just that creative way. So yeah, it's really special.
Yeah, it seems like a great partnership.
Yeah.
So both as a band. Yes, you mentioned you kind of start with the melody.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics kind of hit you later on. Is it almost like a puzzle as you're trying to figure out which lyrics and maybe which stories match with which melodies?
Yeah, definitely. And it really just depends, like, what kind of concept, like you're saying, like our last album, Traveler's Rest, was kind of this idea of like songs that were inspired from our move over here to the States, in 2020. And then this most recent album we've got that's coming out in January, this one is actually mostly shaped from the concept of just having a little daughter in our lives now, and just like the unique opportunity that's given us to like speak into new areas of our life, which and as David said, like even just sharing like truths that we need to remind ourselves, but telling her about that as well. And so that's kind of the things that we wanted to get across in this album, which is different from the one before, but again kind of draws a lot from those same wells of ideas and truth.
Yeah. And you had your first single, When the Morning Comes, come out about a month or so ago. You just had your second single come out. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's a song called Smell the Rose that we actually co-wrote with a friend of ours in South Carolina, Danielle Yother, who's played with the band The Wilder Flower, and is just a great singer and guitar player. So she really helped us capture this image that we were going for, that is also a concurrent theme through a lot of the songs that we've been writing recently. It's just this idea that things fade away, even like the best things in life. The song's about, going down a scenic highway and taking in all the beautiful images around us. You just don't have time to absorb it all. And then, even like the good times with friends that we all cherish fade away as well, and how you have to find your hope in something that's lasting even beyond that. So it's called Smell the Rose. And, would love if you went out and listened to it. That'd be so nice.